How to cook a delicious stew as a new beginner. If this is your first time of learning how to cook stew, depend the beef or the meat you are using. Me, I'm using shaki. I first of all parboil the shaki and throw the first water away, and now add another new water. I add my fish and my beef, and I will be adding my seasoning. As a new beginning, just follow the process on this video and your stew will be ready in the less than 30 minutes. Let's go. At this point, I just added my seasoning, kitchen glory, spicy for the meat, depends the one you like. So I will add them and give it a good stir. I later add onions, but I did not put the video parts. So you can put onions, it's optional if you want. I will be adding my thyme. After adding my thyme, depends how I want it, but how I add my seasoning is based on the quantity of the meat or based on the quantity of the stew I'm cooking. So I will go in with my salt. After adding my salt, I will stir it, like turn everything together. After turning it, I could give it a good stir, and I will add some water, extra water, because shaki needs enough water to get done. So now I will add in my water in the meat stock. So at this point, I will turn it again so the water will not be in one side. After then, I will go in with the cover and cover it. So then, after putting it, I already fry my shaki. So at this point, I'm adding my onions. But when I first of all put my oil, I leave it to get hot a bit, not too much, but a bit hot. And then I go in with my salt and my onions. Now I'm adding my crayfish and my pepper and onions, and already add onions to my raw tomato, which I already boiled before. So I will go in with my seasoning, curry, all the seasoning I need. If you don't know any seasoning you want seasoning, or you don't know anyone, you can go to the market, tell them to give you stew seasoning. What I'm adding is stew seasoning. For you, stew seasoning. So at this point, I will go in with my spicy tea, is also for stew. And after then, I will put my tin tomato, and I will put everything and give it a good stir. After giving it a good stir, I will leave it to dry a bit before adding my raw tomato. Now I'm giving it a good stir. At this point, I will be adding my raw tomato. Take note, guys, before adding this raw tomato, I already blend it and put it in the fire in the pot and cook it for the water to get dry a bit, so it will be easier for me while I'm frying this stew. At this point, I have put in it, and I will be going with my 7 seasoning on this stew, because the stew is much based on how you love seasoning. So at this point, I will be adding my salt. After adding my salt, and I will stir everything together, make sure everything is in order. So for you to know that your stew is getting ready, at first when you add your raw tomato, you will not be seeing oil on top of your stew, but when it becomes like, how to know that the stew is getting ready, with some time, like when you start frying the stew, you will be noticing that the oil is coming up, to know that the stew is in progress. So at this point, I will be adding my shaki. I already fry my shaki. Depends how you want your own. I don't know the meat of your choice you want to use, but me, sometimes I love frying my meats that I'm using for my stew. So at this point, the stew is almost ready. I'm giving it a good stir, so everything will mix together. So at this point, I will be covering it because the stew is splashing. So at this point, the stew is almost ready. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. God bless you all for watching. One love.